What is it like being married to a Jamaican? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com, and today I talk to Chris and Shanisse. Chris is an American, Shanisse is Jamaican, and we talk to them about their marriage journey. Hi, guys, how are you?
Hi,
Good.
we're good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glad to have you. So, tell us a little bit about your backgrounds. We'll start with you, Shanisse.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and I grew up in Montego Bay in a little town called Liti. And then I moved to live with my father, who's a born US citizen. At the age of 9, I flew out to the Big Apple in New York City. But I'm still very rooted. I speak to my brothers and siblings back home every single day, so the accent is super strong. Eat Jamaican food 4 to 5 times a day. Not day, sorry, week. So yeah, that's me.
And Chris?
There's not too much to say about me. I grew up in America in Virginia in a town called Matoka. My whole life, and then I met my wife, and we still reside in Virginia.
Awesome, awesome. So, tell us your love story. How did you meet? What was the first date? And then kind of, what drew you to each other?
So we met on Tinder. It's an online dating app. It's not what it is now. Just saying, I
Are you
wouldn't advise
sure?
it. But when it first came out, it was about finding your true love and stuff like that. I went online dating because I lived in the middle of nowhere in Virginia at the time, and all I did was like work. I was doing acting, so didn't have time for social life, but I needed a man. Just kidding. No, I was just ready for my Prince Charming, and somehow the universe, our ancestors brought us together. So
Yeah.
So, the first date, Chris, tell us a little bit about that first date.
So we go to this little, pancake shop or pancake house, and she gets regular breakfast, and I got a small kids pancake because I
don't forget the
wanted to.
smiley
Kids
face.
meal.
It was a smiley face pancake.
Kids
Um,
meal.
And
When he ordered the kids meal, what were you thinking, Shanice, when you see him order a kids meal?
I thought he was about to pull out some coupons and stuff. I was about to say, like, dude, I can pay the meal. So
nah.
it definitely threw me off.
Yeah, but I'm a real food type person. So once I have a big plate in front of me, I'm not focused on anybody, no conversations, no nothing. I'm just chowing down on my food. So me knowing myself, I had to get something small to where I could actually focus on her, listen to her, and talk to her, be engaged in the conversation, not in the plate.
So you get a hall pass for ordering a kids meal, then, sir. You do
Yeah.
get a hall pass. I love it. So guys, take a note from Chris. Even though some women may think it's cheap, you're being cheap. You could use this excuse to say, "I'm focused on you, and that's
Yeah.
why I ordered this meal."
Yeah, not my plate, because I'm definitely a fat man in a skinny man's body.
So, what would you say drew you to each other?
um, I would say the Southern charm. I definitely love that he understood my energy, and we just like matched. And it was the photo with the dog Marley. It had me. I was in love when I seen it. I was like, oh my gosh, Marley, yes, yes.
I think honestly, the first, of course, the looks. But as I got to know her, her personality, her charm, and just how sweet and kind she was.
Nice, nice. So, has there been any type of big cultural misunderstanding during you guys dating or even being married?
Yeah. I think I made the first big mistake. Um, I had said the B word, said that you were acting like a B word, and in America we throw around the B word like it's nothing, and in Jamaican culture that's a huge no. We got into a huge fight over it, but
I broke up with him, blocked him, didn't talk to him for like weeks.
a week. But who ended up saving the relationship was her father, because he grew up in America. He understood my point of it, and when I was talking to him, I said, "Hey, I didn't mean disrespect. I was just trying to say, why are you treating me that way?" And he was like, "Yeah, I get it, but yet again, on the flip side, you can't say that to a Jamaican. It's a huge no-no. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it." But he explained to both of us how I was wrong, but she also took it, in a different way, how I didn't really mean it in a full disrespectful manner. So he definitely saved the relationship.
Nice. All right. All right. So, Jamaicans and their language is very colorful. Have you found yourself using some of our language? And it's PG. We're PG. Can you tell us? Is there any words you use? You if you want to use acronyms, if you're using the colorful ones, that's fine.
Yeah, I have a very colorful vocabulary. But the one that I end up using a lot, especially at work, is the most famous B word.
Okay, not the American B word, but the
Not the
Jamaican.
American, but the Jamaican B word. The
With your
most
B
iconic.
word.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We will move on. So, Jamaican food. What was your first impression of Jamaican food, and what would you say is your favorite? And I've seen this man cooking uh, Jamaican food. So go ahead, Chris.
My first first experience with it. Well, I'm not really a big fan of rice. But what was always nice was there was always just a little bit of extra gravy that I could sprinkle on the rice. To flavor it up, to give it just a little bit more taste to it.
All right. And so, what's the dish you like?
Oh, my favorite dish is oxtail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
But
right.
it can't be a bony part. It has to be some good chunks of meat in there.
So I saw you cooking Escovitch fish.
Yep.
Shanice, I'm going to put you on the spot. How was the Escovitch fish that Chris cooked?
It was delicious. I'm not gonna lie, it's better than anything I've ever made. Listen, I'm a salmon girl, so I didn't get burned by the wood fire. He did excellent. I enjoyed everything to the bone, so
So
it was
I'm
great.
I'm not a salmon person, so Chris and Chris, you could invite me to the fish fry. So guys, I gotta give you all a shout out. How did I see Chris cooking? Well, they are on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Tell us where people could find you.
You guys can find us at Mommy's Jade. We do family lifestyle, real, authentic, cultural type of content. A lot of traveling with. I show people how to travel with their kiddos. And just married life, just very unfiltered. This is what you get.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. So, big question, Shanice, have you taken Chris to Jamaica yet?
Yes, we did. We went to Jamaica for 3 days. Unfortunately, my aunt had passed away a couple years ago. And that was the first time bringing him and my daughter, and he fit in with the family like it
Yep.
was yeah. He did excellent. Smoked some herbal stuff there. It was an interesting trips but he loved it.
Yeah.
He thought that my country parts that I came from was a little Jungle Book,
Jungle Book.
and I was like, "Excuse me,"
Yeah,
but then I can't blame him.
quick to get defensive, but then you explain how you're driving up the side of the mountain, and there's nothing but trees to left and the right. Looks like a jungle.
Oh,
looks like a nice little jungle book.
But our whole family was fighting with him because we were like, "You absolutely cannot drive in Jamaica, no." So we got into a whole argument about that because he was like, "I can drive there. I've driven my whole life," and I'm like, "No."
Yep.
He ended up driving, did excellent. He did, yeah.
I'm a type of person where if it comes with a motor, I'm gonna know how to operate.
I was like, it's the different side of the road. I'm not gonna risk our life. He was like,
especially we came, we landed in the middle of the day, so you just get in the car and just play follow the leader. You learn a little bit. Then at night, it's easy.
So let me ask you this, Shanisse. Was there something you wanted Chris to experience in Jamaica that you may have been telling him about while you were dating or when you got married that that you were able to have him experience?
The mango.
Oh yes, the mango, getting jerk pork on the roadside. Oh my gosh. Oh, KFC. And it was. You tell them the story. We're gonna
the worst KFC experience I've ever had, and if you live in America, that's a pretty bad experience all in itself. Very inconsistent. But if you ever plan on going to Jamaica and trying KFC,
no, don't say it.
Plan out an hour to sit in the line. We were in the drive-through for an hour before we even got to the menu board, and we ordered all of our food and everything like that. This one didn't let you pick your drinks. They just gave you what they wanted to give you. And then on top of that, your food comes out cold.
I know, and I've been like sitting down, like, we have the best KFC in the world. No one can top us. And
yeah.
But we're going back soon, so he'll be able to have a better experience. But I felt so ashamed. I was like,
we might have to go to Kingston for KFC.
That's what I'm saying. You have to go to the front of the line. And
I was shocked too when she was like, I was like, "Do you want to take our drink order?" They were like, "No." I was like, "What?"
So, on your side, Chris, is there? You were an hour away, or hour and a half, in Virginia. Is there an experience that you wanted Shanisse to have in your hometown, in the culture that you grew up, that she was able to, or you're still kind of waiting to get around to that?
I mean, there wasn't much cultural stuff going on in the town that I grew up. I mean, we might have had like one little town get together, but like it wasn't a big thing like that. I mean, we go and we've experienced, a couple of different things. Like we've experienced Shamrock the Block. That was something that was pretty big in Richmond. Around St. Patrick's Day, we do festivals and
Grass.
I don't care for that, but she does. But yeah, I mean, we end up just experiencing different things together that's going on, and honestly, she's got me out because a lot of the times I would either just sit at home or go hang out with friends and try and stay out of trouble.
So I know you also, I've seen your cooking skills there. What's your favorite dish, Shanisse, that Chris cooks? Non-Jamaican, that is, non-Jamaican, that Chris cooks that you love.
I love his chili. He has me in a chokehold for that chili. Like, I did not like it. I was like, what are all these like mints and I don't know, for some all this stuff in like soupy sloppy. I was like, no. And then he went and perfected a recipe. He won't even show me the ingredients, but that is hands down my favorite American dish is chili with cheese. I love it.
So how did the families know, two different cultures, different races, different everything? How did that all come together? How are your families, embracing this cultural blend? And I know and it's probably easier with grandchildren too, like y'all.
I mean, it helps that my dad is American, so it wasn't that hard of a blend, to be honest. Like, and then with my family in Jamaica, they're very like, we're country people, so we're very like welcoming, and so everybody just blended perfectly. It wasn't like a big like kind of shock thing. So
Same here.
It was great.
Yeah. Nice. Now, Chris, what Jamaican tradition could be around the holidays that you look forward to?
I don't know. Maybe a good old Easter bun. Stealing a few bits of that when I come home. I don't know. I mean, there's certain little bits of it that, in a sense, we've been together so long that I don't really look at things as Jamaican or American. It's just what's in my household, what's in the kitchen and stuff.
All right. If there was a Jamaican skill that you could master, what would that be?
Mm, I don't know. I don't. I don't really know anything that would be specific to Jamaica. I don't know. I mean, one thing I always have wanted to do was like climb a coconut tree, but I don't. I don't think that's specific to Jamaica.
Oh, that's all right. All right. We'll leave that one. Now,
Yeah.
what is your favorite thing about each other?
I love how spontaneous he is. Like, I will randomly get up and say, I want to go 3 hours away just to go get spring water. And he'd be like, okay, let me just get in the shower. Most people can be like, well, we should have planned it. He's like, no, let's just go. So I absolutely love that
Mhm.
adventurous side of him. So, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much, the same thing. I mean, I like how you're nurturing, caring, you're always loving, um, but you're always coming up with ideas to get us out of the house because I'm not somebody who likes to just sit in the house all day long or for multiple days. Like if I've been in the house yesterday, I can't stay in the house today. We got to go out somewhere, even if it's to the store, drive around or whatever. Like I've got to go stretch my legs.
All right. Hear you. I hear you. All right. So I have a little game that we're going to play, a couple questions here, and you're going to point at each other for the person who this who is the person, I should say. All right, so it's kind of like a little pointy game. So here is the first question: who is the person most likely to lose their phone? All right, who is more affectionate? All right, who is the daredevil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, who orders more packages? Who is most likely to get lost? Who is grumpier in the morning?
Oh, morning, yeah. All day. Her.
Who initiated the first kiss?
Me.
Who is the baby when they are sick?
Mm, I don't get sick often.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm cold. I'm like, we have kids. There's no room for that.
Who is the social butterfly? All right. We will end that round of questions on that note. But what advice would you give couples who are navigating cultural differences in their relationship?
I would say give yourself grace and a lot of understanding and patience, to be honest, because it's hard, and a lot of times you have to also put yourself in that person's shoes.
I think communication.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if you feel like there's tension or struggle or whatever, take a step back and communicate your side. Even if you're wrong, they can reflect back on it later or whatever of, all right, now I see why that person did that or made that mistake or whatever. Or sometimes don't even make it a big deal because sometimes there's certain things that can be taken out of context or somebody makes a big deal out of something and it's a small little issue. Why worry about it?
Yeah. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Just keep going. If you love each other, just you will figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Don't give up. Yeah, love that. Great advice. Chris, Shanisse, thank you so much for taking some time telling us about your love story, your marriage. Here's how I'm gonna end. So, Chris, how do you see or hear Shanisse and the other Jamaicans say goodbye?
Uh, how do they say? How do you say goodbye?
Later.
Oh yeah, later.
Later.
All right, Shanice, you're gonna have to give him a little bit more, little more. You're gonna have to give him, we know
Oh,
what's a
like
little more. All right, but we will do later.
yes,
Yeah.
see you later. Yeah, that's yeah. We don't see you later.
All right. Thank you, guys, again, and blessings to you all and your beautiful family.
Thank you.
All right.
It was a pleasure being here.
Yep. Thank you.